Welcome back to my channel. In this video we will cover these items. First we will see what is ASP.NET Core request pipeline. Then we will see what is the middleware in ASP.NET Core. If you remember, in the previous video we gone through the program.js and we saw different methods in the program.js. Let me show that screen. So here one instance would be created here, and this instance will call the build, and build will create the web application instance. Then we will add all these methods extension into the instance of web applications. So all these things are creating a request pipeline. So what is the request pipeline? Let me explain you by the definition. ASP.NET Core request pipeline is the mechanism by which requests are processed beginning with a request and ending with a response. Request will come from the user through the browser, and that request will be processed through different programs, and all these programs are the part of the pipeline. So all these programs will create the request pipelines. These are the programs, and we call this program as a delegate. These are the request delegates. So all these request delegates are used to build the request pipeline. Delegates handle each HTTP request. Whatever the request will come from the user will go through these delegates, and these delegates are configured using run, map and use extension methods. So you can see use, run, map. So all these things will create the pipeline. If you have worked on the previous ASP.NET framework, you might be aware of HTTP handler and HTTP modular, which were part of the HTTP request pipeline. Similarly, here we have the middleware. We call it middleware. So we called these methods as a middleware. So ASP.NET Core request pipeline are built up using the middlewares. Middleware is a core functionality of ASP.NET Core. It is nothing but a class or component that will execute on each request. And these middleware are used to build the request pipeline. You can see middleware is a software which is injected into the application's pipeline to handle request and response. And they are just like a chain to each other and form as a pipeline. So in simple word, when the request will come from the user, first middleware would be called, and definitely there would be some code. After completion that code, the middleware will trigger the next method. Next method will trigger the next middleware, and same thing will happen here. There would be some different code. After that code, next method will be called, will trigger the next middleware. And if middleware doesn't have the next method, the requests will go in the reverse order. Means same as for the response. They are also passing through the middleware, but in the reverse order. Let me explain you in a different way. Like the request will come to the controller, but in real scenario, we can't allow the request direct to controller. There will be some different methods. Like generally we had HTTP handlers kind of something, but now we have the middleware, and middlewares will complete a pipeline. So there would be a pipeline, and each request will go through this pipeline, and in the reverse order we will get the response. Now see, let me plot all these things into the diagram. So first is the exception handler. Request will come to the exception handler first, then static files. If you see in the diagram, request will come to the exception handling, then static files, then routing, then authentication, then finally go to the MVC. And MVC will call the related business logic, and business logic will perform the model, and model will be rendered to the view. In the reverse order we will get the response. I hope you understood the concept of the middleware, what is the middleware and how it's creating the request pipeline. That's all in this video. Thanks for watching my video. In the next video of the .NET series, I will bring a new topic. Till then, happy learning.